Long, long ago, in the land of Israel there lived a woman named Hannah. Her heart was heavy because she longed for a child, but year after year her arms remained empty. Every time the families went up to the temple to worship, her pain followed her like a shadow. She watched others rejoice, but she carried sorrow. Hannah's grief was deep. She wept so much that she could not eat. Her rival mocked her for not having children, making her feel worthless. But instead of running from God, Hannah ran to him. One day she went into the temple, fell to her knees, and prayed with all her heart. She cried out, "Lord Almighty, if you will look on my misery and give me a son, I will give him back to you for all the days of his life." Her lips moved, but no sound came out, only silent tears and desperate prayer. The priest Eli saw her and thought she was drunk, but Hannah explained, "I am not drunk. I am pouring out my soul before the Lord." Eli replied, "Go in peace, and may the God of Israel grant what you have asked." Hannah left with a new peace in her heart. She didn't know how or when, but she believed God had heard her. And in time, God answered. Hannah conceived and gave birth to a son. She named him Samuel, which means God is heard. When Samuel was old enough, Hannah kept her word. She brought him back to the temple and dedicated him to the Lord's service. Imagine that moment, and the very child she prayed for now placed in God's hands. It must have been bittersweet. But Hannah knew Samuel's life belonged to God. And Samuel grew to become one of the greatest prophets of Israel, anointing kings, leading God's people, and shaping history. Long, long ago, Hannah discovered that God hears even the quietest prayers. Not the polished prayers, not the fancy words, but the raw, tearful, desperate ones. Maybe you've been waiting for something, praying for years, and it feels like God is silent. Maybe your heart feels heavy like Hannah's did. But her story reminds us, God sees your tears, He hears your prayers, and His timing is perfect. What we see as delay, God sees as preparation. And when He answers, it's always greater than we imagined. So don't give up on prayer. Don't stop crying out. God still hears and He still answers. Subscribe for more daily devotional stories of faith and encouragement.